Welcome everyone. My name is Mary Beth. The purpose of today's demonstration is how to create a utility ticket online. Georgia Utility Protection Center requires that anytime dirt is disturbed, a ticket has to be created. Locate tickets have to be accurate and precise. Areas not marked with the right information could result in loss of service for the phone, cable, electric, water. If a gas line is hit, it could be deadly, it will be costly, and entire neighborhoods could be evacuated. So it's your job to create these tickets to get the correct information from the utility crew and relay that to the locators. So you need to have a good understanding, a good grasp of the information. If you have any questions as we go through the steps, please stop me as we go through them and we'll be happy to address those. At the end, I will give you a handout with some additional information. I printed this off the Georgia UPC website. I also have an instruction manual that I'll give you now. You can follow along with the steps. Okay, let's get started. Here is a picture of a man doing a locate. That's the locating tool. Once you get your password, and you can request a password from the Georgia UPC site, once you get your password, you will log in to www.gaupc.com. You're going to your locate request panel. You're creating a locate request. You're going to read and accept the disclaimer. This is self-explanatory, but you're entering your company information, your phone number, your company name, zip code, address, company, excavator ID, which you'll get that, excavator type, and excavator state. You enter your name, your phone number, your email address, and fax number. You add the field contact, name, and number. Type of work. There's a drop-down menu, and you'll see pictures of it in your manual. There's type of work is installing electric primary, secondary, repairing a water main, water service. There's a list of different categories you would pick. Who is the work for? You use your drop-down menu for that. Project duration. This is important because if you don't get the work done in the time period, you'll need to restake the ticket. Dig site information. This is a standard address. This is an intersection. Intersection to intersection, you need to have that information. Dig site county, dig site city. Street address of excavation work. Nearest cross street, that's very important. And the subdivision, if it's in a subdivision, that's important, especially these new subdivisions off Beaver Ruin Road. Locate instructions. This is very important. You would say front of property, right of way, back of property. This is information you get from your crew, so you need to have a good understanding of where the property is to be located. If you say entire property, and the crews like to say that, but the locators don't like that, if you say entire property, you need to note in your remarks section that the entire property will be excavated. Driving instructions, go north on Beaufort Highway, turn left on Langford, just give them a basic idea on how to get to the area. Does anyone have any questions so far?
I have a question. When you pull in a locate, does it have a time frame that it expires? You have to use it within a certain amount of time?
Yes, and then if you see that the work hasn't been done, and that's where a good communication with the crew helps. If you see the work's not been done, then you go in there and you restake it. And you restake it online. That's the benefit of doing this online versus calling. Calling, you wait for an operator. It's a frustrating experience. Doing it online is much faster, and it allows you to document your locate tickets. It's a good tracking system. Also online you can put in your locate ticket and you can see what other utilities have responded to your ticket, so you know what's still out there. Boring, this is again, you use a drop down menu. Are they going to be boring the driveway and sidewalk? Not boring anything. Parking lot, road, driveway, parking lot, sidewalk is very specific what you're going to check. And this is
what is boring?
Where they go under the road.
Oh, okay.
And this is where your crew will give you that information. That's why you just need to have all the facts before you start the ticket. Blasting, white line. All sites are required to be white lined by the excavator, and this is a Georgia UPC mandate. It's not something that they were required to do in the past, so they're not crazy about it, but they're supposed to be white lined. Is it underground, overhead? You need to view the dig site address on the map. Once you put in your information, a map will come up and you verify the address, and then you go back and you confirm the address on the map. And there's a good visual in your handout that shows the map. If the I'm sorry.
going back to the boring, if it's a possibility, you may be boring, but you don't know if you're gonna be boring or not. Is it best to go ahead and get to locate before boring?
I do.
Okay.
I'd rather cover it than not cover it. This is a new, like, there's a lot of new subdivisions, Creekside up off of Beaver Ruin, that won't show up on a map. So if it doesn't show up on the map, you have to go in there and grid it yourself. You manually grid the area, and it's very easy. You see a little grid box, you just scope it off on the map and save it, and then it's gridded. A lot of times, the area won't be on there. It's a new area. You record the dates, and this is very important. The day you called it in, the legal date. Locate tickets take 3 business days to be valid, so that's your legal date. And the date of the expiration and the restate date, I'm sorry. This goes back to if it's not done in the time frame that you specified, then you need to restate that ticket. And a lot of times they may tell you to come in and they may say, do this locate, and then they get called off for another job and the work doesn't get done. So I'm constantly restaking the tickets. I do that a lot. And here's a picture of one that's been located, and you can see the different utility companies that have responded.
Let me ask you this, when you call in a locate, say like to the general area, are all the utility services gonna go out and define that locate, or is it just one person that does that?
All of them will
Oh.
respond. The electric company, like Joe, would respond, and Rodney would do the water portion, and the phone and cable, they'd come over, and the gas. And that shows you the different colors, differentiating the different companies. So they all respond. I'm sorry.
On the legal date, is there a certain time, is there a cutoff on the time that those 3 days start? Like if you called it in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, is it valid at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 3rd business day, or is it valid?
7 a.m.
So as long as it's called in that day,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 days from there, you can start digging?
Yeah, 7 a.m.
Okay.
And then here is the information. Now, I do a spreadsheet, and I really do this for myself, my records, but also for the crew, because they could come in here and say, let me see your locates, and this will be a quick reference. And it will show them what's still out there and when it expires, and they'll say, hey, you need to restate that ticket. We haven't even started that job yet. So I write down, this is your locate ticket number, the day I called it in, the day it's legal, my restate date, the day it expires, the location, and then the work being done. And this is just for my records. I don't have to do this, but I do this so the utility crew can come in there and take a look. Does anyone have any questions? No? Did you have a chance to look through your manuals? Please do. Actually, those are very good. I got those from the Georgia UPC site.
What are the regulations concerning white lining?
All areas have to be white lined.
And that is using, I'm not familiar with the terminology.
Okay, it's the paint, but it's white.
So where I want to dig needs to be,
Between your,
Yeah,
Okay.
between this area and between this area. Is the paint itself actually white?
Mhm.
Yes, it's white.
yeah, so you might want to explain the colors. Do you know the colors of the paint?
No, would you like to help me
Well,
out?
blue is, of course, water.
Mm-hmm.
Fire is
Red.
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 Gas?
Gas is yellow.
Uh-huh. And that's phone or cable?
Cable and phone both are orange.
Oh, they are? Okay. So you don't know what green is?
I don't.
Graffiti? Okay.
Must be some kind of service we don't have around here.
Mary Beth, also, like I know when a cable company comes to mind, because that's what you saw, and they put those flags in the ground, but sometimes those flags are just colored, those represent the same
Yes.
method
Yes.
of paint, okay.
Yes.
Can I download this manual off the website?
Yes,
Where is it located at?
it will be on YouTube. Okay, now this is some more information from the 811 Center, Georgia Call Center. It's got some additional facts on here. I'll give this out. Now,
Now I know what that means when I see
the marks,
the marks, because I've never seen that. I've
Yeah.
been down in the south now.
you see an entire
Yeah.
street,
Yeah.
like what's going on, okay. All right, does anyone else have any questions?
And can they use both flags or paint?
I believe paint. Can they use flags? Okay,
I reckon we have them, I reckon, we've always used them.
Best
but you
do
guys
both.
use,
It's
you
best
do
to do
both?
both, we usually do both, I mean, in the
Yeah.
street, of course, you're gonna use paint, but when it runs, say, off the street into the yard,
Mhm.
then you would use flags.
Now, like right now, we have a situation where a water line was hit by one of our crews, and so we have to pay for that, and that's costly. It could have been an error on a ticket, or it could be they just messed up when they were doing the excavating, but that's an expensive mistake. Like I said, I have seen pictures on their website where an area's been hit because of a gas line, and that's a whole nother liability, you know, that involves the fire department, and that's a mess you don't want part of.
Is it still 24 inches each side of the mark? And if something does get hit, when does it become whoever's doing
Not
the
our-
digging's fault and who the utility?
I don't know, that's a good question, and I will get an answer to you. Okay? Everybody good? Do you have any other questions? No? Thank you for being here, I appreciate it.